Y'all know the name.
What's going on, guys? My name is Matinho and welcome back to Formula 1 2016, and we're on to round 6, the Monaco Grand Prix. So apologies first of all that I didn't get this out yesterday on the Saturday. Had a little bit of an emergency that I had to deal with, which pushed everything back. But you're going to get this, and there's also going to be a new episode of something new coming up in about an hour's time as well. So there you go, you get a double upload as my way of apologising to you. But looking at the laptop, so you can see we've had a couple of teams make updates. So both Mana and the Red Bull team have increased downforce, and they've also upgraded their engine. So Mana, I don't think we've got to worry about that, but the Red Bull, that could be worrying for the other teams around, especially Ferrari, because they have started to really catch up. We're ahead in the driver rivalry, which is a lead of 12 points, so we're doing pretty good there. I think with a half decent qualifying and a decent race result, we could finish this off. We only need 7 points and he needs 19, so I think we've just about got this in the bag as we now head down to practice. So practice itself, the programs were fine, but I'm not a huge fan of the Monaco track. I've never ever had a good result here in any Formula 1 game, and we did okay, as I said, in the practice programs. We went green in both the qualifying and the track acclimatization, and purple again in the tyre management program. However, we didn't finish, or I didn't finish, should I say, any of the practice sessions, and it happened in every practice session at this corner. That corner kept catching me out. So, not a brilliant practice, to be honest with you, as we've got a voicemail.
Just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
So again, qualifying goals, the usual stuff. Qualify 13th or higher, beat Carlos Sainz, beat Jolie and Palmer. Fairly straightforward, but as I was saying, not particularly good in practice. I was struggling to find a setup that I really liked. So I wasn't particularly quick, and I couldn't keep it out of the barriers as well. So it is going to be, I'm anticipating a difficult qualifying and the race. However, this is the end of Q1, and surprisingly, I got through Q1 relatively easily. Sebastian Vettel almost got dumped out in Q1, but we do lose Valtteri Bottas, and our teammate Jolyon Palmer's miserable season continues as we now jump ahead into Q2. And again, the surprises kept on coming. So this is coming towards the end of the lap, and we make it very, very easily into Q3. And we not only make it, we actually, at this point in the qualifying session, we put up the fastest time of Q2. So the pace is definitely there. I was really at this point starting to find a rhythm and settle into the setup that I got bolted onto the car. By the end of Q2, we dropped down into 4th place, but we're not a massive way behind Lewis Hamilton at that point, and we're also ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, Jenson Button, Ricciardo, Massa, Grosjean as well. So this is now moving on to Q3 and our first flying lap. And this lap, it wasn't a particularly good one, our first flying lap. I was really struggling at certain points to try and, keep it zoned in, and I ran into a little bit of traffic as well early on in the lap as we come through to put up a 1:17.5. So not a brilliant lap. And that at the halfway point of Q3 put us in 9th position. So I decided I was going to slap a new pair of boots on the car and go out for a second run, because there was definitely, as I said, a lot of time that I left on the table, and given my Q2 performance, I knew I can go a hell of a lot quicker. As we move now on to the end of my second flying lap in Q3, you can see in the top right hand corner we've found nearly 0.8 of a second as we come through the final section of the track, through the final corner. Run a little bit wide from the apex, but it doesn't matter, we've still found some extra time, and we're going to come across the line with a 1:16.4. so again, an absolutely stellar qualifying performance. Again, it was really I really wasn't expecting it, and that put us into 6th place. However, I may have mentioned previously that both Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel have 5-place grid penalties. So they're going to take a big drop, which means we're going to start from row 3 next to Kimi Raikkonen in P5. So Ricciardo takes pole from Lewis Hamilton, a very small margin, only 4/100ths of a second separating those two. There you got Verstappen, Raikkonen, myself, and then also if we ignore Rosberg and Vettel's grid penalty, then you got Jenson Button, Felipe Massa and Romain Grosjean, but all of those will take a big jump up due to those grid penalties I mentioned. And this is the end of qualifying, and we've gained nearly 400 points just from practice and qualifying. And as you can see on screen also, that brilliant qualifying session we've just had actually sees us through to a win. So we've beaten Carlos Sainz in the driver rivalry. He had a bit of a miserable qualifying while we had our best qualifying session of the season so far. So come the Canadian Grand Prix, we are going to have a brand new driver rival to take on in time for the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying. Race goals, as you can see on screen, place 10th or higher, beat Jolyon Palmer, and place 17th or higher in the Drivers' Championship come the end of the Grand Prix. So, very unexpected qualifying results. Really wasn't expecting to start this high in the Grand Prix. We're going to see what we can do. As I said, it's not a favourite Grand Prix of mine, so hopefully we can get a good result and, more importantly, finish the race in the very least. But let's head down to the grid now for the Monaco Grand Prix.
Okay, don't try anything silly into one. It's going to be crazy in there. Just do your best to stay out of trouble.
So here we are then on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix, and strategy wise it looks like we're going to be going for a one-stop strategy. Not really surprising, to be honest with you, given that tyre wear isn't a huge issue around here. The rears do take a bit of a pounding, but if you look after them, then a one-stop strategy is the best way to go, because track position, as anyone who's watched the Monaco Grand Prix before, they'll know that track position is absolutely everything. So not a big difference between the two strategies, but track position is the big one. Overtaking moves are at a premium around here. It is actually overcast as well, so whether we are going to get a few specks of rain here and there, I'm not too sure. We had a session forecast look similar to this in Russia. We got actually rain in that session in one of the practice sessions. 39 laps, so I'm going to actually add a little bit of extra fuel there, just maybe not that much, maybe, yeah, there we go. So 40.2 litres of fuel in the car, 39 laps. If we get a safety car, okay, that's going to be advantageous as well. That may offer up some opportunity strategy wise, but here we go then. Probably my worst race of the season is about to come up, but here we go. Monaco Grand Prix, let's go. So here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, look but never stare, and we're off. A little bit sluggish on the initial getaway, but the second phase is very good as the Red Bulls both get bogged down, and we jump past both of them along with Kimi Raikkonen. So we're now up into 3rd position, and Jenson Button has amazingly followed through as well. So Danny Ricciardo has gone from 1st to 5th inside of one corner, and we are up into 3rd position. So an absolutely rotten start, for the Red Bulls. They are now in 5th and 8th position respectively as we come down into the Lowe's hairpin for the first time. So the Williams and the Haas have also gotten past Max Verstappen there going into the first corner. So it's all go, and we're now heading into the tunnel for the first time as we get a safety car deployment. So a safety car has been deployed. This is the 3rd time in 4 races we've had a safety car deployed on the opening lap of the race, and this is the reason why. So we're now looking at the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson coming through Mirabeau and down into the Lowe's hairpin. It's all an accordion effect down there through the slowest corner in Formula 1, and he just gets caught out, maybe gets a little tap from behind, but that is what's brought the safety car out. As we come in through the tunnel now, once again we get the message that Max Verstappen has been disqualified. So here he is coming out of Casino Square down the hill, and inexplicably he pulls the car to one side and stops. No smoke, nothing, so we don't know what happened there, as we're also going to take a look at Ricciardo's start. So there goes the fifth light. He gets bogged down horribly, tries to cover off. Hamilton thinks better of it, comes back to cover his teammate. Raikkonen goes one side, I go the other one. And he gets a little tap from Felipe Massa, I think it is, as Jenson Button goes around the outside of him through Sandoval. So a terrible start for Danny Ricciardo there. I don't know what the problem was, but he's gone from first to fifth as we move ahead to lap number 4 now, the end of the safety car period. We've got Felipe Massa just behind us as Jenson Button has taken an early pit stop. Massa actually jumped us through the safety car restart in Spain in the last round. He doesn't get the opportunity to this time though. We get good drive off the corner and put a lot of space between the two of us. Perhaps not as good as Kimi Raikkonen, however, coming through the first corner, we get really good grip and drive and we're getting right up the back of Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari. Not enough to take him up into Casino Square, but we've definitely got the pace and the traction at this point in the Grand Prix to very much keep up with him. However, it is going to be a completely different story for the both of us trying to keep up with the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. They've made updates, they've made a big jump since the start of what would be the Russian Grand Prix 2 rounds ago. So they are very much the class leading car of the field as we come through now into the tunnel again. We're not too far behind. We've got a little bit of a gap now to Felipe Massa just behind as we're trying to chase down Kimi Raikkonen as we come through the chicane. A little bit of a liberal take to the track margins there as we come through to the back. I was really struggling with this corner. That bump on the inside and the way the track drops away through the exit of the corner as well was really causing me trouble. A lot of oversteer as we get the message that Sergio Perez is out of the race. So here we go, they're coming down into the chicane there, and it was the Manor who got a little bit too tight on the inside, caught the barrier. This is Sergio Perez. He managed to get stopped, but then he gets tagged firstly by the Sauber and then by our teammate Jolyon Palmer. So Sergio Perez's race comes to a very premature end as Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race so far, leading into lap number 6. As you can see behind, we've got a bit of a gap as we jump ahead once more onto the end of lap number 12. Hamilton has already been in, he came in on lap number 9, and now Kimi Raikkonen is going to jump in at the end of lap number 12, leaving us in the lead of the Grand Prix. Given the safety car was out for about 4 laps, we managed to save quite a lot of life in the tyres, so we're going to actually extend this. We were due to come in on lap number 11 if you remember, but we are now going to extend it as we get the message now at the start of lap 15 that Rio Haryanto is out of the race, which brings out the virtual safety car. And this is the reason why, coming through the tunnel, through the turn, he gets a little bit wide, tries to correct, catches the rear wheel of the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz there, and his race comes to an end as we now jump ahead to the end of lap number 15. And this is me coming in for my first and only pit stop. We take a little bit of a knock on the inside of the pit entry there, but we get away with it as we come into our pit box. A fresh set of super soft tyres going onto the car. It's not a particularly quick stop, 3 seconds, but we do get out, and it may cost. Is it going to cost us coming out of the pits? It does. So Kimi Raikkonen shoots past, as does Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel. We come out and we manage to just keep it ahead of Romain Grosjean as we go up the hill. So we've now dropped to 8, so we're behind not only Kimi Raikkonen again, but we're also behind Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel as we move ahead now onto lap 17. As you can see, Rosberg and Vettel have streaked away from us. We have no answer to them. We've got Grosjean just behind as we come down towards the chicane. We've got yellow flags. We just managed to keep it out of the rear of Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari, and we actually jump ahead of both Rosberg and Vettel there, and I was expecting the message to come along to give the positions back. However, it never did, so we've actually got the positions. We have jumped both Rosberg and Vettel going into the end of lap number 17, and we're now just again behind Kimi Raikkonen as we're going to take a look at the replay of what caused that big commotion at the chicane there. So you've got here the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson looking like he's about to be lapped, but refusing, just absolutely refusing to yield to Danny Ricciardo there. So he's on the outside of the corner as they come through the tunnel, and he's still not yielding to him. Ricciardo has to go tight, and again gets caught by that barrier on the inside. So that's what caused the problems, and that's what's given us the opportunity to jump back up into 5th place as we set a purple first sector coming down into the Lowe's hairpin. So it's all been go, and for the most part it's been the Saubers that have been the real thorn in everybody's side this weekend. As we take a massive hit, an absolutely massive hit on the inside right at that same corner that caused us so much trouble in the practice sessions, but this time we get away with it. We get a little bit of minor front wing damage as we are now going to jump ahead to the end of lap number 20. We've got Nico Rosberg right up our gearbox. He's been there for a number of laps, but if we look just ahead of us, we can see Kimi Räikkönen getting tangled up in a back marker, which gives us an opportunity to put one up the inside into the final corner. We go through just about side by side, but we get better traction out of the corner and we get the position. So now we are up into 4th place and we are back behind Lewis Hamilton, who's 6.5 seconds up the road as we negotiate the back marker of Marcus Ericsson. Bit of a squeeze, but we get the job done. So now we are into a net 2nd place on the racetrack there, once the front running two of Nico Hülkenberg and Fernando Alonso come in for their one and only stop as they have gone long. So this is the middle part now of lap number 27, and again we're having to contend with a back marker. This time it's the Sauber of Felipe Nasser, and at this point he'd already seen 5 or 6 blue flags, and he's going to see a hell of a lot more, just again refusing to yield, absolutely refusing. I understand it's Monaco, it's a tight racetrack, but it just getting a bit beyond a joke by this point. I tried to do an undercut just here, don't get the traction. But as we come through the final corner and onto the main strip, we get DRS and we squeeze our way up the inside, and we are now past him. But for the eagle-eyed of those among you, you will see, if you look to the top left-hand corner, you will see we now actually lead the Grand Prix. So amazingly, Lewis Hamilton, in scenes reminiscent of the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix, he's taken a 2nd pit stop, which has really, it just cost him the lead and potentially also cost him a podium as well, after essentially controlling the race for so long. He is now back down in what I believe is now 5th position behind Sebastian Vettel, who has once again been held up by the back marking Sauber as Danny Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the race. So absolutely amazing scenes, and so I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't realise we'd taken the lead until about 7 laps from the end, as we get the message now that Romain Grosjean's race has come to an end. So once again, there is Vettel almost getting tagged by the back marking Sauber. Grosjean goes tight. Again, it's that inside corner of the barrier, and then he gets hit by Fernando Alonso as well for good measure. As we move now on to lap 37, a big jump. Not much has happened, but the train behind us has got that much bigger. So it's the Ferraris and the Mercedes following 2 by 2. Raikkonen, Rosberg, Vettel and Hamilton now crawling all over the back of each other, trying their very best to to put pressure on me and to get an opportunity to either snag a podium or take the win away from us. But we are going to just about hold on through here. However, we do get a little bit of wheel spin. The back tyres are really starting to go away, as you can see, and Kimi Räikkönen has got DRS. He's going to have a look to the outside, but we close the door emphatically and we keep the position. But we're now going to move ahead to the start of the final lap. I'm not going to commentate anymore. I'm just going to let you sit there and enjoy the tension. So there you have it, guys. We have won the Monaco Grand Prix. I cannot believe it. I really still can't believe we managed to win that race. It just seemed that the stars aligned, everything fell in our way, the way the back markers held up people, which gave us the opportunity to pass Kimi Raikkonen, Nico Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton's second pit stop as well. Everything just went our way, and there it is, top of the leaderboard, big win. Raikkonen finished in second, just 0.2 of a second behind us. Then Rosberg, Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, who led for so long. You see there 2 pit stops, so that second pit stop really cost him. But I'm not complaining, I'm really not. I've never had a good result at this racetrack in any racing game, but finally we've got the win. And we're going to now take a look. A lot of people have been asking me what difficulty I run. There it is, expert difficulty. And believe me, I find that really bloody difficult, especially after this Grand Prix. As we now look ahead to the driver's standings. So Raikkonen still leads. He's taken a 16-point lead now after his second place there. But we, crucially, have jumped past Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez into 7th place. Verstappen's dropped down into 4th. Rosberg's jumped ahead of him. The Red Bulls, a miserable weekend completely, and we're now just a point behind Sebastian Vettel. And also, we've made another big jump in the Constructors' Championship as well, so we're up into 4th ahead of Force India and Williams. Whether we'll be able to stay there, I'm not entirely sure. We're going to give it a really good go, but looking at the rest of the table, you can see there Ferrari have jumped ahead of Red Bull, so again, their miserable weekend has really cost them a lot of points. Verstappen's disqualification and Ricciardo going backwards through the Grand Prix as well. But for us, absolutely amazing. We're up into 4th place as we now have a contract event.
What could this be? Could it be a promotion to first driver?
Ooh.
I think it might be. You read the details. You've earned it.
So as if this weekend couldn't get any better, we have now just been promoted to the first driver for the Renault Formula 1 team. So absolutely amazing. This has been the best weekend of the season so far. Our best qualifying. We beat Carlos Sainz. We won the Monaco Grand Prix. And we are now the lead driver for the Renault Formula 1 team going forward. Which means we are going to have bonus resource points, or a percentage bonus for whatever resource points we earned from this moment onwards. And that is going to come in very handy in trying to keep hold of that 4th place position. But while we're on the subject of resource points, we've gained about 500 from this Grand Prix. So that means we are going to be able to do our second downforce upgrade. So this has been something I've been trying to get for the last couple of Grand Prix, but now we are finally going to get it in time for the Canadian Grand Prix, which is coming up next. So brand new monkey seat, we're going to pay for that upgrade, and now we're also going to do our first fuel efficiency upgrade, which is a adjustment or a redesign of the fuel injection system. So we'll have both of those upgrades in time for the Canadian Grand Prix. But again, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you would like to see more, then please hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 15 likes on this video. 15 likes for a win at Monaco. I think that sounds fair. Subscribe for more daily content. There's going to be a lot more Formula 1 coming, along with more Forza and another couple of new things as well. But again, hit like, hit subscribe, stay cool, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side as the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. Peace! I'm pretty certain I just got one of them and it's a DLC pre-order bonus. What the fuck? Oh, motherfucker. Okay. Well, apparently I have 2 of these now, so I don't know, I can do something with one. Maybe I'll do a rallycross build out of this and a time attack build out the other one. Who knows? Okay then. Spin number 8. Let's go. Cadillac, let's go. I don't want an Escalade. I don't want an Escalade. Don't give me an Escalade. Don't. Ooh, Lotus 211. Okay, I can do something with that. So, spin number 8. Lotus 211.